Do you think the first piece is lift every voice and sing, and I'm planning on singing it by myself once through, and then having them catch it the second time through? I can just say sing with me.
I would do like a sing with me and
do
a thing, and we'll model.
Should I tell them that it's there?
Where do they have it?
It's on the sheets that got passed out.
I'll hold it up when we get when. Okay. I'll hold it up when we start. Okay.
the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea.
Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles, right?
As we say, great job, so beautiful. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. It is so meaningful and powerful to be here with all of you tonight, along with our full-time clergy and usual team. It is my tremendous pleasure to welcome the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles, Iceola. Yeah, you can say how happy we are to have them here. And I want to say a few words about them. Iceola began in 2009 when 9 black teenagers asked Charles Dickerson to help them with orchestral music. Dickerson understood how very difficult it is for black kids to become orchestral musicians. They often join local youth or school orchestras and feel like they're different from everyone else. Dickerson understood that playing together would create great comfort and great impact for these young musicians. He was right. By that summer, the orchestra grew to 24 kids and they began performing. In 2011, Iceola participated in the unveiling of the Dr. King Memorial in Washington, D.C., for which they became a nonprofit so that they could fund the trip for those kids. Since 2012, Iceola has packed the Walt Disney Concert Hall in annual summer concerts. Can we see you this coming summer?
Yes.
We will join you there. We really, July 9th. Hey. How about we go together? July 9th, let's do that, unless it's Shabbos. Iceola is the largest predominantly black orchestra in the United States, though it isn't a requirement to join. Iceola is open to everyone. Tonight, Iceola will be led by Dwayne Burrell, assistant conductor and longstanding coach of Iceola. We are so grateful to him. We know it's your work that brought everybody here tonight. We are also profoundly grateful to our own Jenny Asher, who has been playing with and supporting Iceola since 2018 and who arranged all of tonight's parts and music that we'll be leading together. That's right, that's what I'm talking about.
I would go as far as to say she arranged this entire evening.
You know what? You are right. She forged the relationship, which we hope will deepen and continue, and she put together this entire beautiful evening. We're going to turn now to a brief video that shares a few clips of that historic night when MLK came here to TIOH to speak. This video was compiled by Sophie Hall Makatel.
Where we wait and hope and pray. Oh, Jesus. That makes sense. Kind of powerful silent, actually.
We're trying. So sorry, we can't get the sound to work. This is the best that we've got.
Oh no, this is the end, I think.
I'm sorry, we haven't been able to get the sound to work. The video is also, let me get the mic on. I apologize that we had a problem with the sound and we could not fix it in the moment. This video also exists on our YouTube channel, the TIOH, the Temple Israel of Hollywood YouTube channel. If you would like to see it again with the sound, I'm really sorry.
There's an echo in there.
Yes, we encourage all of you to watch that. But tonight is about coming together. It's about Shabbat. It's about finding that moment in our hectic and busy lives to just stop, to take a breath, to refresh ourselves, to figure out what are we doing in this crazy world, and who are we doing it with. And so we'll welcome in the angels. We'll welcome the strangers into our home. And we'll welcome each other into our hearts. Please join us, Shalom Aleichem, page 11.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lochem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuli l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
It's our pleasure to invite up two incredible individuals who are about to become leaders in our community. So Hudson and family, and Sam. Is Sam here? I thought I saw, there we go. Yes. Sam, bring your family as well. Hudson. These two are becoming B'nai Mitzvah, are taking on the responsibility that comes along with that. Blessings are, oh, you come prepared. You come prepared. Yes. Would you like to light our candles? Got our matches right here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Thank you. Let us settle even deeper into Shabbat. We're going to continue on page 23, Shiru Ladonai. Page 22, Ya'alo Sadai. Page 29, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Shamur v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el ha'neuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. מתוך ההפיכה, רק לשבת בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חרדה, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, תבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרבה על נפשי גאלה, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך וביורי, אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך ניגע, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תחמי בה, יחסו אני עמי ונבנתה עיר עתידה, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. והיו לבשי ששון זיני, ורחקו כל מפנייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהי ככסוף חתן, הכלה, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואין אדוני, תעריצי על יד איש, בארצי ונשמחה, ונגילה, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עצרת בעלה גם בשמחה, ובצולה תוך אמונה, עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, נקרא כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה.
Remain standing, page 75, face the ark for Martha.
We remain standing and face the ark for Baruch Hu.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie,
may be seated. We have always been dreamers, a people made by dreaming. And from deep within these boundless rooms rise prophecy and poetry and purpose. And when we awaken to moments, each rare and a perfect blessing, we find our way into understanding. God, these dreams are born from glittering fragments of your shattered world. Help us to discern between the familiar and the distorted, and guide us towards others ready to march for a holy tomorrow. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Amen.
We join together on page 76 for Shema and Ve'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
This week, Rabbi Rebecca Dubow came to our synagogue and taught us. Rabbi Rebecca Dubow is actually the first woman rabbi who is deaf, who was ordained. And so she was teaching the kids how to say the Shema. And the first word of the Shema is listen. And she said, but you know, she can't hear, but she can listen. Right? Isn't that nice? And so she said that, you know, there are many different ways to sign hearing. And
I need to use both of my hands. So she said the way that she signs to listen for the Shema is, which means pay attention, right? Pay attention. And I was thinking about how this weekend of MLK is we are paying attention to those miracles who are in our world. MLK, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., was one of those miracles that we're paying attention to this weekend. In this week's Torah portion, we're paying attention to Moses, who experienced God's presence in a burning bush. And the bush was crying out to us to pay attention, right? And so who are the people in our world today that we need to pay attention to? Who are those people who are guiding us, who are lights to us, who are teaching us? Who are those people in our personal lives and in our world that we need to pay attention to? Mi chamocha, the miracles of paying attention.
page 81.
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, נורא תהילות, אופף אל
Nora Tehilo, Nora Tehilo, O Sefele.
And the river is wide.
And the river is wide.
And the river is deep.
And the river is deep. And the river is standing between you and me and freedom. Freedom. And we shall overcome one day. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilo, o sefele.
And the river is fear.
And the river is fear.
And the river is hate.
And the river is hate. And the river is standing between us and the gate of freedom. Freedom. But we shall overcome one day. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilo, o sefele.
And the river divides.
And the river divides.
And the river forgives.
And the river forgives. And the river's a wall. And the river's a bridge to freedom. Freedom. But we shall overcome one day. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
So that bush is burning, and it's up to us to see the light and bring ourselves close. We rise on page 87. Look into your hearts. Watch the bush that needs to burn within your heart, within your soul, within our community, within this city.
You know it doesn't make much sense. There ought to be a law against anyone who takes offense at a day in your celebration, 'cause we all know in our minds that there ought to be a time that we can set aside to show just how much we love you. And I'm sure you will agree, couldn't fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
I just never understood how a man who died for good could not have a day that would be set aside for his recognition, because it should never be just because some cannot see. The dream as clear as he, that they should make it become an illusion. And we all know everything that he stood for, time will bring. For in peace our hearts will sing. Thanks to Martin Luther King. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Why has there never been a holiday where peace is celebrated all throughout the world? Time is overdue, and you who know the way to truth is love and unity of all God's children. Should be a great event, and the whole day should be spent in full remembrance of those who lived and died for the oneness of all people.
So let us all begin. We know that love can win. Let it out, don't hold it in. Sing it loud as you can. Happy birthday to
ya.
Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Come on, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday. Michael Sclove
Shirley Fox.
And Stevie Wonder.
and Stevie Wonder.
Thank you, Stevie.
Now, if that didn't heal your soul, I don't know what will. But we still have a prayer for healing. And the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., he taught about healing. He said that this life, therefore, is not righteousness, but growth in righteousness. It's not health, but healing. We're not yet what we shall be, but we are growing toward it. The process is not yet finished, but it is going on. This is not the end, but it is the road. We're all on this road of healing. Page 239, Misha Berach.
Sheberach Yavoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimoteinu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imoteinu Mekor HaBracha Lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
A couple of announcements before Rabbi Mari Chernow is going to offer a sermon tonight. Bianca and Autumn, you can come on up. There are a bunch of adult ed classes that are going on. I'm sure you've gotten lots of emails about them. If you haven't checked the Temple Israel website, Mari and I are going to start teaching our Sunday morning classes in a couple of weeks. We're hosting a slate and MSNBC author who wrote the book Lady Liberty at a Private Home, so check your emails about that. If you liked Michael Skloff and Shelley Fox, brother and sister team, they're going to be back on February 10th, our next TIOH Speaks event, and we're going to have services and dinner, and then Michael and Shelley are going to dialogue with Susan Kor Freudenheim, and there'll be a lot of special fun things going on. I wanted to invite Bianca Tomash, who is our member of our synagogue, and her good friend Autumn Rowe, who is going to tell us a little bit about the Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance.
Thank you. Hello. We are part of the Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance. The BJEA creates an important platform for Jewish and Black entertainment leaders to come together on the basis of our two communities' long history, shared values, and common interest. With over 200 entertainment industry leaders as part of our alliance, BJEA leads events and establishes a network where Jewish and Black entertainment leaders can share their stories, learn from one another, and host programming to help the public understand racism and anti-Semitism in new ways.
For 2023, we're planning a mural project in Brooklyn, celebrity poker events, museum trips, seders, as well as ways we can give back to the community. We're going to continue to work closely with Rabbi Michelle and Temple Israel of Hollywood for our future events. And we're going to stick around a little bit after, so if you have any questions or want to get involved, we're here.
So if you're Black and Jewish, or Black or Jewish, and you're interested in being a part of this, please see Bianca and Autumn.
Thank you so much. Just a quick word before I start. I'm going to reference the Mayflower. It feels important to acknowledge that those who sailed on the Mayflower were as problematic in our history in thinking about universal human dignity and how you enter a land as a guest. But we're just going to acknowledge that, and we're going to talk about the Mayflower to get to another point, but it feels important to say that. I'm going to ask you to help me tell the story of this week's Parsha, Shmot. So Pharaoh, slavery, oppression. There's a mother who doesn't want to drown her baby boy, and his name was... Oh, Moses, right, thank you. And she makes, to save him, she makes a container. What's that called again? To put her... Oh, a basket, a wicker basket, right, thank you. Eventually, he grows up to lead the very first slave rebellion in human history, and he uses the words, let my people go, thank you. And when the Jewish people leave Egypt, they eat this flat bread called matzah, thank you, called matzah. You passed? Excellent, good job. I'm asking because in 1936, David Ben-Gurion stood before the Peel Commission and said, 300 years ago, there came to the New World a boat. Its name was the Mayflower. The Mayflower landing on Plymouth Rock was one of the great historical events in the history of England and in America. But I would ask any Englishman sitting here on this commission, what day did the Mayflower leave port? What date was it? And I'd like to ask the Americans, do they know what date the Mayflower left England? How many people were on their boat? Who were their leaders? What kind of food did they eat on that boat? Ben-Gurion continued, more than 3,300 years ago, long before the Mayflower, our people left Egypt, and every Jew in the world, wherever he is, knows what day they left, and knows what food they ate, and eats that food on every anniversary. And we know who our leader was, and we sit down and tell the story to our children and our grandchildren in order to guarantee that it will not be forgotten. And we say two slogans. Now we are enslaved. Next year, may we be free. David Ben-Gurion understood that history is not about the past. It's about right now. This story of the Exodus lives to this day in our bodies, in our culture, in our collective consciousness. It lives any place where there is even the slightest whiff of enslavement, inequality, and oppression. It lives in every place where a person believes that tomorrow does not have to be like yesterday, that change is possible, and that if all we can do is hope for the possibility of hope, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to hope to find hope. When Dr. Martin Luther King came to speak at Temple Israel of Hollywood, he came to talk about the struggle for civil rights in the South. But that stirring speech is not about the 1960s in the South. Or rather, it's not only about the 1960s in the South. It's about 2023 and the inequality that persists in housing, education, employment, media, healthcare, and everywhere. It's about the inhumanity of systemic racism that keeps segments of our society down and unable to rise. It's about the truth that every problem we have, every problem, the pandemic, global warming, inflation, the fall of Roe v. Wade, gun violence, the teen mental health crisis, every problem that we have affects Black and brown Americans more profoundly and more adversely than it does white ones. Listen to Dr. King's words from our Bima in 1965. We've been on the mountains of racial injustice long enough, and now it is time for us to move to that great and noble realm of justice and brotherhood. This is the great struggle taking place in our nation today. It's a struggle to save the soul of our nation, for no nation can rise to its full moral maturity so long as it subjects a segment of its citizenry on the basis of race or color. And somehow we must come to see more than ever before that racial injustice is a cancer in the body politic, which must be removed before our moral health can be realized. Tell me those words don't ring true right now, in this very moment, 58 years later. Tell me we don't have a moral health problem with racial injustice at its root. History is not about the past, it's about right now. And by the way, Dr. King didn't come here just to address racism. He talked about poverty in Asia, in India, in South America. He talked about suffering and indignity, hunger and homelessness around the globe. He said, we've been in the mountains of indifference too long. We must be concerned about the poverty-stricken because our destinies are tied together. And somehow, in the final analysis, as long as there is poverty in the world, no one can be rich. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. Which is why I was stopped in my tracks today when a friend of mine from Phoenix, his name is Eric Schaefer, Eric sent me the newly released version of U2's song, Pride, in the Name of Love. That song is about Martin Luther King. The original 1984 version includes the story of one man washed on an empty beach. There are all kinds of theories about what that line refers to. Maybe it's JFK, maybe it's Irish poet Roger Casement. There are other theories out there about that line. But in the new version, which I think was released today, they changed the words. And Bono sings, "One boy washed on an empty beach, one boy who will never be kissed." I was stopped in my tracks because the boy they're singing about, I presume, is 3-year-old Syrian refugee, Alan Kurdi. We've all seen the picture of his tiny, lifeless body washed up on the shore in Turkey. He died alongside his 5-year-old brother as they attempted to flee violence and persecution. And I believe in my deepest heart of hearts that Martin Luther King Jr. stood right there to talk to us about Alan Kurdi, all those decades before the Syrian refugee crisis. He came to talk to us about Syria, and he came to talk to us about the homeless tents that are just feet from our front door, with a straight line to segregation and to American slavery before that. He came to talk to us about indignity and injustice wherever it lies. History is not about the past, it's about right now. That's why we eat matzah on Pesach. That's why today we honor and celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King in the name of love. We've been in the mountain of indifference too long. Our destinies are tied together. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Shabbat Shalom. Please rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu, page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו כמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים
Please be seated. As we turn to page 292 for Kaddish Yatom, I'll ask you to rise if I share the name of your loved one. Tonight we are remembering especially those who died in recent days and weeks. Peter Genovese, Noah Modisette. We remember those who have died at this time in years past. Arnold Babin, Peter Better, Sylvia Epstein, Melvin Garb, Bill Graham, Flint Harrison, Ruth Horowitz, Ruth Carfiol, Bernard Kurland, David Laskow, Minette Levin, Margaret Littman, Albert Marks, Hetty Oppenheimer, Sally Perlman, Felipe Rodriguez Cruz, William Scholes, David Sugarman, Fred Trebo, Julian Weinstock, Abby Zifrin. Our hearts go out to you. We ask that Hamakom Yinachem Etchem, that God provide you with comfort. If there is a name you'd like to say for Kaddish Yatom, somebody I have not mentioned, I invite you to please rise and share that name out loud if you'd like. For all those in our hearts and on our minds, I invite the congregation to please rise in solidarity as those who are in mourning lead us on page 292. Yitgadal v'yitkadash. Amen. Be'alma divrach. B'chayechon v'yomechon chayed. Ba'agala v'bizman karev. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam U'Lamei Almaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yihar v'yitgamon v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shvei Brichu Le'ela min obirchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechamata da'amina v'alma. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Amen.
Shalom v'broma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Amen.
Oh, says shalom.
Please be seated. Hudson and Sam, will you lead us in Kiddush and Motzi, please?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kudsho v'havrat uratzon hinhilanu Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom tefillah lemikra kodesh Zaher letziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'charta v'tanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon kinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabat
Take a sip. And the challah.
Really drink it, it's yours.
Okay, ready for Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Friends, on another day, on another Shabbat, I'll remind you why it's important not to applaud during a service. It's not a performance, and so on and so forth. For now, how about Isiola? Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, musicians. And while we're at it, friends, what do you think about Jenny, Shelley, Michael Skloff, Michael Alfera? Please join us next door for an oneg.
Thank you, thank you. I got nothing.